Violent crime has decreased in New Orleans, including a one-time spike in carjackings. Most young offenders arrested during those tense times were sentenced as juveniles, and many are now free after serving their time. But for one, there's no turning back the clock. Investigative reporter Mike Perlstein began following the case of Quinton Skipper when Skipper was just 16. Now 21, he was recently sentenced to decades in prison. But even one of his victims is shaking her head at how a court slip-up could lead to such profound consequences.
Think about my little brother every day. Wishing that I could do something to help him.
That's Garland Skipper, older brother of 21-year-old Quinton Skipper.
Just seeing him slip in the cracks with the system, getting no help since in and out of juvenile.
Quinton Skipper was recently sent to the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. He is now serving a 26-year sentence after pleading guilty in adult court to a crime spree that included carjacking and armed robbery. But for all of Skipper's dangerously bad choices, it didn't have to be that way.
The system and the city failed that boy so profoundly.
Back in 2019, Skipper and two other teenagers faced charges in juvenile court after a string of carjackings in which victims were violently yanked from their vehicles. Skipper's two co-defendants are now free after serving juvenile life. He never got that chance.
Why does there appear to be almost a revolving door for kids who are arrested for carjacking?
Well, we do not release kids that are arrested for carjacking.
Despite those assurances from then Chief Juvenile Court Judge Renard Derensburg during an emergency city council meeting several years ago, Skipper was released, let out by mistake before his charges were resolved. The court was still determining whether he was mentally competent to stand trial when he was freed.
Knowing that he had some mental disabilities, I mean, he wasn't even deemed fit to stand trial.
Elizabeth Schindler was one of the victims during the trio's carjacking spree. She gave an emotional victim impact statement at the time of sentencing of Skipper's juvenile co-defendants, saying the psychological damage she suffered was far greater than her fat lip and wrecked car. In court, she turned to her attackers and urged them to make the most of their chance for rehabilitation. But Skipper was not there to hear that. He was being treated at a mental health facility.
They knew that he needed help. They knew that he was very much at risk.
Skipper's mom said that help never came. Without explanation, he returned home, even though he was still dealing with the effects of a brain aneurysm he suffered when he was 14.
They told the judge that they would prefer giving back to his mom because we don't know how to deal with that and they didn't want the responsibility.
As soon as he turned 18, the legal age for adult prosecution at the time, Skipper was arrested again. One especially violent carjacking he admitted was caught on video showing the victim being tackled for his keys.
Nobody wins. Nobody wins here.
The system failed him. The system failed him.
Garland Skipper says he feels bad for everyone involved, his brother's victims, his mom, and especially Quinton.
Every day I go to sleep, I think about my little brother.
He wonders what he could have done to help.
I feel like I failed my little brother, even though it wasn't me, because I feel like I could have did better, but I'm learning and going through stuff too.
If he serves his full 26-year sentence, Quinton Skipper will be 47 when he's released. Mike Perlstein, WWL, Louisiana.
We also spoke to one of Skipper's carjacking victims who said he also thinks 26 years in prison is excessive. He declined an invitation by the district attorney's office to testify at Skipper's sentencing.